All right, there we are.
Yeah, can you hear me? I say turn this
Yeah,
up.
there we are.
Oh, you're just down way too low. Fuck. Now,
Same as that. Yeah.
right.
Right, first episode.
Yeah, episode one, Max Power podcast. Even though that wasn't the
Here we are. Yeah.
copyright and all that, but fuck it.
Yeah, sure, we won't worry about that.
Yeah, hey, romantic. Happy
Anyway,
Valentine's Day.
happy Valentine's Day to you too.
Yeah, pity we couldn't go for dinner or a pint. But sure, look, here we are.
Yeah.
Right, so
No.
we'll start off with a basic introduction, Aidan. Then, so for anyone that doesn't know Aidan, Aidan is a good friend of mine and a training partner. He's an up and coming Irish strongman, personal trainer, and is after taking a leap into the business side of things. So you started up your own business. Do you want to start by telling everyone about that first?
Yeah. Get the plug-in done first. So I started a company called AOD Gym Equipment, and so basically what it is with the demand for gym equipment so high and the supply of it so low, what I've started doing is getting bars and bumper plates manufactured myself. So my own logo, my own specs, the whole lot. Get a big amount of those made up, and those will be here ready to go by April. But for now, I'm just taking the pre-orders and the deposits on them.
Yeah, and how long kind of do you have to wait then when you put in an order for waste and stuff? How long?
Mid to late April, they'll be here by. See, they're just being made now. They're in the production process at the moment. So
Right.
the shipping agent is guaranteed before the end of April at the latest. So the way we're doing it though now is you can pay bit by bit, which you can't do it, most websites and that. And the price of equipment, it can be an awful thing to pay out more than a week's wages for a set of weights. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so,
Like, especially now, there's a lot of people at
in
work.
April is a good time to get going.
Yeah, like now there's a lot of people at work, so that pay bit by bit is kind of handy. And I mean, geez, like,
Oh yeah, sure. Not many people can afford to just fork out €650 straight up for a weight, like so.
no, definitely not. Like,
Yeah,
even there last week, I was on the Facebook Marketplace, and it's fairly stingy.
yeah, the price are fairly ridiculous at the moment. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 30 kg dumbbells for like 200 quid.
yeah. There's a few people chancing around now,
Yeah, no.
so
And
it's
then
not too bad for a pair of turkeys.
yeah, and then you done your personal training course with Image Fitness, and just
That's right. Yeah, I done that just over a year ago now since I done that.
yeah, and you've been working in the Source Leisure Centre here in Thurles since Thurles Leisure.
Yeah, I've been here nearly 2 years now, working below. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Strength and conditioning qualification as well, so I have.
and do you plan to go further? Like, I remember you were talking about looking at powerlifting coaching and doing a course in that and stuff before.
Yeah, I'm actually studying that at the moment. With the ISSA, it is the International Association of Sports Sciences, or International Sports Sciences Association. Studying powerlifting coaching with those lads now for the moment. So it's a 1 year online job. Getting through it,
Yeah,
very interesting stuff.
you're looking further the education in the sports field as well. Like you're always strength based. Like would you do any team sports or anything like that, or strength and conditioning?
Yeah, well, certain conditions I didn't have my certain conditioning qualifications already, so that is mostly based in team sports, the strength and conditioning side of things. But yeah, what I'd really like to be doing is coaching strength athletes like ourselves, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of the same. Like I was looking at personal training myself, but like in some ways, there's not a massive market for it because, like, I mean, nearly every town you go to, there's at least 5, 6 gyms. You're talking 5 or 6 personal trainers per gym. So there's always like that bit of competition. But if you go into the strength side of things, there isn't an awful lot doing it to the extent of competing. Like, yeah, building basic
Yeah,
everyday.
you have a need at least in that.
Yeah, like everyday strength you're going to be doing anyway. But competing is a lot different. Like you've seen that yourself, even with your own programs. Like you were under coaches yourself, and just the training is way different to what you'd be doing on your own.
Oh yeah, yeah, particularly the coach had. Yeah, I'd say had a bit of an extreme one there, and James Finley. All right. Yeah, training is a different story with someone like that making you do it. So
Yeah,
the results speak for themselves, though.
yeah. So we'll move into the strongman side of things. That you started off with kind of bodybuilding background, just building size and stuff, and then
Yeah, well, I kind of started off like a lot of people did. You're 15, 16, and start doing a bit of weights with the lads from school, like just chest and arms, chest and arms, chest and arms,
curls.
maxing out bench every week, that crack. But that's how I got started in that side of training and that. I've been doing all bits and pieces before that with sports and that.
And what made
But
you go into strongman then?
just thought it was cool, basically. Well, I done my work placement in a strongman gym from my first after school course. There was PLC I done in Closhmurray here in town. It was sports recreation exercise, so very basic old general knowledge about fitness sort of stuff. But the work placement, I went into James Fenley's gym in Kenny, and that's when I first kind of got exposed to strongman a bit more. Because lads like Dave Jones is trained there, Simon actually owns that place now, and
Yeah.
they have the equipment and that, and that was my first kind of time being really exposed to the sport and kind of seeing what it is like. And of course, with popularity of YouTube and that, rising lads on YouTube like Eddie Hall and those lads, just kind of, it's something that just caught my interest a lot more than other strength sports.
Yeah, they definitely brought a new light to the sport. But for anyone that doesn't know, James Fenley, James is from Kilkenny. He actually trained in the powerhouse gym that we train in for a good while, but James was probably one of the most dominant at Ireland's Strongest Man when he was competing. Like, he was easily the best deadlifter around. Could probably still hang with a lot of them lads now. He was the first Irish person ever to compete in World's Strongest Man. He had a fairly tough group as well when he competed at Worlds.
Yeah, he did alright.
Krzysztof Radzikowski was Moment.
Terry Holland and a few others.
Yeah, Terry Holland's like to hang.
Yeah, that was
2012
as well. Terry Holland is the man to beat back in them days. Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Still is a tough competitor. Like,
yeah, like even back then, Terry Holland was unbelievable. Like, he's still hanging in there, no problem.
yeah, it's over 40 now.
Yeah.
Like, still
Still
going hard. Like,
able to do like. Yeah, so back to the strongman with you. The last competition you had was the Galway Open in Matty Costello's gym in Galway.
yeah, that's right. That was a good one for me now.
You
Yeah,
got your first podium place, third place.
yeah, I did.
Then,
First open weight contest as well.
yeah, your first competition, we travelled up to Ballymoney, two of us. I didn't do quite as well as you. You came fourth, I came 14th, but shit happens.
Yeah, that was a fair old trek up, so it was.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It was only 5.5 hours. We were half dead before we lifted anything.
Yeah, sure. Up to the hotel then. I was 5 kilos over my weight class the night before in the hotel or something like that. 4 or 5 kilos over my weight class the night before the fucking contest, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a great idea for recovery to have an Epsom salts bath the night before. I ended up dropping 2 or 3 kilo.
Yeah, that's what I done. Hot Epsom salts baths and like no fluids just to get the water out of me to weigh in properly on the day. So remember, we were waiting outside on the day. I was pure terrified that I wasn't going to make weight.
Yeah, I was kind of the same.
Yeah.
I was afraid to eat anything the night before.
Yeah, you weighed in like 6 kilos below your weight class then.
Yeah, I ended up being the lightest by about easily 3 or 4 kilo.
Yeah.
It's just inexperience. Like, that's what happens at first comp. But,
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
yeah,
I know for a fact I'm definitely never competing under 90 again. That was some tough cuts, so it was. Yeah, I think I started that prep at 97 or 98, so
yeah, I
cut
remember,
down like 7 or 8
I
kilos
remember
back onto
lying in the hotel, we'll say the day before, just getting a Snapchat off you, and it was just a picture of the scales, and I think it said like 92.2. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was like halfway through the cut that night, so I think when we got to the hotel, that was 94 or something like that.
So, after that, obviously, that was your first comp. It was kind of, like, obviously, every comp you want to win, but it was more of a learning curve than anything.
Yeah, first one,
But when you went on to the Galway Open, there was a fairly tough lineup. Like, how did you prepare for that?
I was actually, it was first contest back after the first lockdown, and to be honest with that contest, it took me a good while to get back in the rhythm of training properly after lockdown. Again, It was first 6 weeks back training, I just could not get in the groove at all. It was going shite, and the contest coming up was just disheartening. And that's when I tried. That's when I decided I'd first try getting a coach. I normally would have believed that I don't need a coach when we have such great lads in the gym, and I know a nice bit myself. But that was when I first decided to get a coach, just to see, like, basically for the kick up the hole to get back going strong and do well in that contest. So that's when I got James Fenley to coach me for 8 weeks, and just the results went from, say, before that coaching, probably the worst condition I've been in over a year, just from lockdown and no training, up to best shape I've ever been in.
Yeah, like, I think anyone competing in any kind of strength sport, a coach is definitely the way to go. Um, like like you were saying, yeah, we have a lot of lads around us that are fantastic to kind of work off and tell us what to do and stuff. But when you're in that environment where you're comfortable with someone, you know, you're training with friends, people that you're always with every day, you kind of tend to take it a bit too easy at times. So, like, if you get
Yeah,
the
a bit
coach,
too, especially where we train. There's a bit too much having to crack at times, like,
yeah, exactly. Like,
you know.
it's just always a mess with us. But if you get a coach,
That which is important as well, of course.
yeah, like, but like I was saying, if you get a coach, you're kind of, it's like the kick in the arse you were saying. Like, you don't want to go back and say, oh, Jesus, you know, I slacked off there, I was having a crack with the lads. It's not going to wash with them at all.
Yeah, yeah. Especially, I know the coach you had and the coach I had. Like, if you were to go back and tell them I only done 4 sets instead of 5, you'd be told well not to do it next time. Like, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even I was coaching under Matthew McGeegan, as a lot of people know, and Matthew just, there was no excuses with him, no bullshit. Like, there was
Not
often
at
a
all.
time where, fair enough, I'd miss a lift, and so I'd be pissed off at it, whatever. Straight away, Matthew's like, well, forget about it now, stop thinking about it, move on. And you go again. But if he thinks for a second that you're just being lazy, you're making excuses, he's not taking it, like. And that's what you
Yeah,
need. You
no.
need someone like that to drive you on, someone that's going to have you afraid to mess around. Like, you're going to be afraid to
That
tell
being
yourself and
said,
say, oh, John, I took it easy today. But it worked. It worked out in the end. Like, my
yeah.
first
That
competition was
being said,
match.
I do want to prepare for my next contest on my own with no coach, just to, because I know I can do it. I want to use the skills I've acquired in that, and I want to. I think there's a satisfaction you get from doing it yourself that you don't quite get
Yeah,
when you're helped, if you know what I mean. I do like to kind of take these things like by myself and really kind of figure it all out on my own.
yeah,
So I think next time I compete now, I'll do my own programming for the whole thing.
yeah. Like, it kind of depends. Like, I mean, yeah, you were the coach and you competed at Galway Open, and like, you were there pretty much on your own. I mean, you had your girlfriend Lauren and your mother and father were there as well, weren't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but like, you didn't
Of course, you
have
know, the strongman community, you go there unknown and you leave the hate with friends. Like,
that. That's it. That's fucking, like, the amount of friends I made in the last year just through strongman is ridiculous. But
yeah, lads you're competing against, lads who you want to beat and they want to beat you, but you're still best friends at the end of it. Like,
yeah, exactly. But what I was saying was, when you've the coach actually there, it's kind of a different feeling. Like, the last competition I had in Belfast, it was a deadlift competition, and Matthew was there, and everyone from MK Fitness. It was unnatural. Like, there wasn't a lot of people
yeah,
actually in the room, but it felt like there was fucking
yeah,
hundreds
your team is
just with
behind you.
bros
Like,
from the
yeah,
lads. It was unreal. It was one of the best sporting things I've ever done in my life. So,
yeah, look fairly good, alright.
yeah, like, having a
That was a
coach
strange
like
contest.
that.
There was a strange contest in Galway though, because it was just kind of the way the lockdowns were at the time. It was very limited in what who could be there and numbers and all that. So
Yeah,
it was a strange setup. It was basically only competitors and maybe 3 or 4 organisers and referees in the building. Like, everyone else had to be out away past the car park and all.
yeah.
So it was
I mean,
strange to have. I know now, like, at our level, we wouldn't be drawing stadiums full of crowds or anything, but to have no kind of spectators at all was kind of a bit strange. But
yeah, especially
that being said, all competitors,
we went from Renegade, which was one of the biggest novice comps in the country when it happened. There was a couple of hundred at it. spectating. So
yeah,
we went from that to practically nobody watching. It was kind of,
yeah,
in a way, I was a lot more nervous, I think, at Renegade. And I don't get nervous a lot, but the minute I stood under the yoke for the first event at Renegade, I remember my legs just shaking.
oh yeah.
I never
No, I
felt
think that
so
was that
nervous
yoke
before.
in particular, though.
It was just the minute I got
That
under
yoke
the
in
yoke,
particular,
seeing the
was no
crowd.
favour.
Yeah,
Yeah. As you know yourself, yeah, all different equipment has its own different kind of characteristics, and that particular yoke at Renegade, I remember, was very it tended to swing an awful lot back and forward
yeah, like
compared to the yoke we trained on.
yeah, that was my first time dropping a yoke, and I remember you running with it, and I actually don't know how you didn't drop it because the fucking swing that came out.
Yeah, it was just yeah, and I think I did drop it once actually.
You dropped it once, did you? Yeah, I thought you were going to
Yeah,
end up in the crowd the way it was swinging.
yeah, it was all over the place. Good thing about that though is that kind of settled in my head that I was bad at yoke, and it put in my head that I needed to work on yoke. So, right is the word. Yeah, that's right. Um,
Mick has a nail on the head.
so basically, what it done for me was it made me train yoke really fucking hard because I didn't want that to happen again. And come Galway, then I think I took second on the yoke. So
Yeah, and of course, the minute we
no,
mentioned,
it was good to get tossed around by that yoke to kind of make me train it harder and maybe get better at it. Like,
yeah, now we've the super yoke in the gym that just fucking crushes us.
yeah, that thing. that's training that thing. You won't have any problems anyway with a
Hey,
commercially made one.
if it's made by Pat, you know it's going to hurt. So
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
so
expect it any
for sure.
less. Yeah, I just wanted to move on then to kind of the local strongman scene. Like before we go, say into the Irish strongman scene, I want to go to Thurles. Like, it's starting to come up a bit more again.
Yeah, I think just because of popularity with YouTube and all, strongman on YouTube getting popular and all, is a lot more people are getting interested in it.
Yeah, like even
A lot more people are being exposed to that as well, just with social media and all that.
yeah, like even when I'm kind of sharing it on Instagram and same with yourself, like the training videos, training for competitions and stuff. There's a lot more people kind of seeing what's going on. A lot of people have come into the gym and tried it, haven't liked it, and more people have come in and tried it and loved it and stayed at it.
Yeah.
Obviously now with lockdown,
Some people didn't like it
it's
first and then
better.
kind of took a shine to it then.
Yeah, that's it. Like, but I think we've about 7 beginners now in the gym. Like,
Yeah,
we're the
about
only
that.
two that have competed so far. Obviously, with what's going on now with COVID and stuff, it's kind of hard to get anyone competing. But then of course we've Owen Shanahan looking to make a comeback. Like
Yeah,
one of the strongest in the country by far.
yeah, serious competitor there.
Definitely. Be nice to see Owen at the competition in May.
Yeah, it'll be good to see it, alright. Good to see him back competing, like.
Yeah, so you're hoping to compete in that as well. Anyone that doesn't know, it's the first tested competition in Ireland, and it'll be Ireland's strongest man. So it's a natural comp, nothing, no
Yeah, no
performance
gear.
enhancing drugs involved, nothing like that. So there'll be no controversy as
Yeah,
usual.
different weight classes as well. Did you see that? The weight classes are different than normal.
Yeah, I see.
So instead of under 105, like I'd normally go for, it's under 100.
Yeah, and the under 85 is kind of
Yeah.
like I was meant
Suppose,
to go
the,
back up to under 80 and compete, and then I seen that was under 70 and then under 85. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. More likely to be under 70, but if it's a case where there's only 3 or 4 people at under 70, I'm just going to compete under 85 and go for the challenge.
yeah, well, I found no, when I went from under 90 got up to about 103 for Galway, which was about, roughly 15 kilo weight gain. I did find the performance from that extra bit of weight though it was huge. Like at under 90, I was a bit too depleted of energy and
Kind of injury
just didn't have
prone as
enough.
well.
Yeah, just didn't have enough muscle on my frame to really perform at my best. So
Yeah.
going up to
Did you find
going
that
up to
difference in your
about
fitness?
100 kilos.
Was there much difference in your
Sorry.
fitness when you put up the weight?
Well, yeah, I think my fitness has gone. It's gone way down just with the way lockdown is and all. I don't really get as much non-strength training exercise in. Like before at work, I'd have I'd be teaching spinning classes and doing all sorts of stuff,
Yeah,
lifeguard training, swimming, and all that. But since lockdown came in, like I wouldn't be the best to go for a run or anything like that. So
yeah, I'm kind of.
yeah, the extra weight wouldn't help the fitness, but the lack of actually training fitness will be a lot worse than the bit of extra weight.
Yeah, I think the lockdown kind of like I know it sounds like we're using it as an excuse, but it's kind of fucked a lot of things up, like fitness wise and stuff. Like the start of say last year, we were getting ready for comps all over the country basically. I had about
Yeah,
6 lined up for myself, and then this lockdown happened, and before I knew it, I was on first name basis with nearly every person that worked in a chipper in town. So
yeah. The old Chinese there is a frequent haunt of mine.
yeah, they all know my name. The minute I ring, they know I'm
Yeah.
ordering. So
Do you know what it is for me as well? At first, as moving from the countryside to the town, when all these places are within walking distance, and they never were before.
oh, yeah,
It's really, really,
you're just like
yeah,
tourists now, just make news about the
yeah.
chippers.
When they're that close, like, especially since I moved to this apartment, I used to be up in Town Glass, which is maybe 15-minute walk from the square, but now like we can get to Chinese in 2 minutes, so which is
Yeah,
when it's that easy, it's kind
you
of
do
hard to
know they
avoid,
can
you
deliver,
know.
like. Why are you walking everywhere?
I wouldn't be paying them for delivering.
Cheap bastard. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll move on to kind of the Irish scene. Did you watch Ireland's Strongest Man when it was on?
I didn't know, no telly, so.
It was on Facebook, you fuck.
Right then.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it anyway.
it was actually a lot better than I expected it to be honest. I mean, obviously, there was no pad of wire, uh, which I think in a way kind of made it really interesting because
Yeah, there was
you didn't really know who was going for top spot just from looking at the lineup.
like normally when Power and Wires there, it's going to be a case of who's coming second. Like,
Yeah, like it's bad to say, but I mean, he is on a different level. But I don't know. I can see people catching up with him soon enough. But there was a massive battle for first place, obviously, with Matthew McKeegan and Matthew McCoy.
yeah, sounded good, alright, from what I've seen.
Literally, the whole day it was just who's going to take what event.
Yeah, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, and there was no give in any of them. Neither one of them. I mean, Matthew, I think it was his tricep. Correct me if I'm wrong. He injured on the deadlift, and then blacked out, and he still wasn't giving up. But he knew
Yeah, I
eventually
think what we saw this year as well is a lot of new talent coming in,
yeah, that's
and not even new, but young. I know, like Killian Groom, like he's no stranger, he's not new, but still young, up and coming strongman. Remember, he was there in Galway. He won the Open Class. I think he's 23 or 24.
yeah, exactly. Like,
Won the Open Class against lads have been training since like 10, 15 years.
yeah, like, I didn't expect that at all. I mean, his first time at Ireland's Strongest Man, he ties for third on, I think it was third or fourth he tied for, on the silver dollar. I'm fairly sure fourth. Silver dollar deadlift, ties for fourth. Done absolutely exceptionally. He won the first event, which is 150 kg sandbag for max distance.
Yeah, as far as I know, he'll be competing in that tested federation as well.
Yeah.
He'll be probably top dog to beat there between him and Owen. I'm looking forward to seeing him and Owen battling for titles and that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think overall Killian finished sixth, but he got rewarded for his performance anyway. He took away can't remember his
Sword.
name. Yeah, that fuck sword.
Yeah, you said it on Instagram there, alright.
Yeah, I seen it. I played with it the whole time, but
yeah, you'd rather win the sword in first place.
yeah, like the minute I heard that the best performance was being awarded, it was hands down Killian Groom all day long.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It was unbelievable, but there was a few other surprises. I mean, Bobby St. Ledger, lightest person there, and held his own.
Yeah, I think he hired me even.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think Bobby's still under 80 or just he wouldn't be much over it anyway. But
Yeah,
he
very
kind of
impressive,
he kind of
alright.
shocked everyone on the day. As well as that, Kyle McGowan was called in as
Yeah,
reserve.
that was the other one I was thinking of. I couldn't think of his name
Yeah,
as far as kind of new up and coming talent.
Kyle's first comp. I think Kyle finished 10th, which was savage considering the lineup he was against his first time. But then you had Mark Burke, under 90 kg strongman,
Yeah,
called
under
in on
90,
Red
yeah.
Jones. And
There's an awful lot of smaller lads really putting the pressure on the bigger lads.
yeah,
I know a name that comes to mind definitely is Dean Kennedy.
yeah, Dean Kennedy is unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah, something like 160 kilo overhead at under 90. I think he put up on Instagram there.
yeah, like
Or
as
maybe
good
not
as
under
the
90
open scene
anymore, but
is, yeah, as good as the open scene is in Ireland, the under 105 is just way better.
yeah, the under 105 is the most competitive at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we've Ireland's strongest novice in Matthew McGeegan's gym was pushed to May. You were meant to be competing in that as well. That's
Yeah, so injured.
it's looking like a really good competition, but I already have my winner picked. Um, I can't see anyone beating Gavin McNamee the way he's training. But there,
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. He's fairly strong, alright. I'd say one to watch out for as well is AJ Cronin from Carrick.
yeah, AJ Cron, another Tipperary man.
He is brutally strong. He is ridiculously strong.
Yeah, we just seen him there in the live a couple of minutes ago. Michael McCarron. Michael's after coming on a lot
Yeah,
in the last year, especially since Renegade. Just every week hitting everything nail on, or nail in the head. Sorry.
yeah. I know a lot of lads know at that contest will be hanging around a 300 kilo deadlift. Like,
That's it. I mean, there's a lot of big lifters there. As I said, Gavin is my favourite for the win, but it's pretty much anyone's really.
yeah, I'd have to back AJ on that just because I know him as well. Like, he's
We have
over in his gym a few
we
times.
have to
The
get
fierce
behind the
south
walking
fella.
way, don't we? But
Yeah, Hunty.
of course, sure. I was training with MK Fitness for a while, and I know all the lads. I follow all the lads, so I'll be backing all them anyway as well.
That's it. Turn your back in your county.
Hey, fuck you! They turned their back on me as quick.
Sure.
I already said I want to move up north. I want to move to Derry, so I already turned my back on you.
Sure.
Yeah, so
You couldn't leave that gym, would you? You couldn't leave our gym, would you?
I'd probably get kicked out of it.
Maybe so, yeah.
My own grandfather's gym, and I'd be kicked out soon. Well, if I don't get back doing something, definitely kicked out. Just sitting at home.
Back from retirement, right?
I can't wait till we open up again and be able to take in new members and get our own competition rolling. We're hoping to have our own competition.
Yeah, that's an exciting one now, is our own competition.
Yeah, we're hoping to have that hopefully middle of summer, maybe May or June. We don't know yet, but
yeah, whenever possible, really.
yeah, basically,
Well, see how I am with injury and all, I might hop into that myself.
yeah, it's not so much a beginner comp. It's kind of we want to grow the sport, especially the strong woman side of things. We're really focusing on the women's category on the day, and
Yeah, get more.
yeah, like obviously anyone that's fucking ridiculously strong and the events are too easy for them will be told where to go. But we've a very good open contest as well. We've a very strong lineup for that too. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, some serious competitors coming to that.
Yeah, and I mean, next week on the podcast we've one of the women that has strong woman where it is, Rihanna Lovelace.
Yeah. There's a lot of great strong women in Ireland as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at Gemma Moore. I know I'm going back to the Team MK Fitness.
He tell us more than me, so she does.
It's hard not to, like.
Yeah, and Ashia, or Matty Costello's girlfriend, I think it is, Ashia.
Yeah.
She did about 260 deadlift as well, something like that.
There you go. Like, it is starting to grow a lot in Ireland, the strong woman scene, and I think a lot of that is down to the British strong women as well.
Yeah, the British strong woman scene is really popular compared to anywhere else in the world. It seems like all the stars are from over there.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I think strongwoman will blow up in Ireland over the next couple of years. Especially, there's a lot more women you see even just starting going to the gym lately.
Yeah, and not even just going to the gym, but actually lifting weights.
Yeah.
You know, before it would have been a lot of cases of just kind of walking, doing the treadmill and stuff like that in the classes. But seeing a lot more women on the weights now these days, which is great to see.
Yeah, I mean, that whole myth of if a woman is lifting weights, she's going to look like a man is kind of finally starting to go out the window now.
Yeah.
So.
It doesn't happen that easy. So it was that easy to get big, but it all be huge. Like.
Yeah, exactly. But as well as that, you see a lot more women getting into the CrossFit and powerlifting as well, which is great to see as well.
Yeah. A lot of people come to strongman from those sports as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's especially even though with the lighter weight classes with the men's strongman, like world's strongest man under 90, Narimu Ahipen, I believe you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
I know he started out in CrossFit. He went to a very high level, like CrossFit Games, which is like the world's strongest man at CrossFit, basically. He competed at that before he ever switched to strongman.
Yeah, that's a seriously tough competition as well. Like, there's a lot of...
Yeah, I think the bit of the athleticism that comes from that carries over well into strongman. Very good.
Yeah, you see a lot of crossovers. I mean, especially the most obvious one is powerlifters coming over to strongman. I mean, you've seen Luke Richardson and what he's done last year.
Just straight away to the top. Like,
yeah, what, 23, 24 years of age.
Yeah, European powerlifting record holder.
Yeah, now Europe's
as junior.
Man.
Yeah.
I think world's strongest man. He had a tough final in world's strongest man.
What can you say? It's world's strongest man.
Like, first time there as well.
Yeah.
So
to the big boys contest, like.
Yeah, like I don't know, they're saying a lot about, genetics improving and stuff, and that's why we're getting such great athletes and of such big sizes. But as well as that, like, there's a hell of a lot of hard work involved in it. I mean, you know that yourself.
Yeah, that can't be bet, really, is the lads who are willing to go the extra mile.
Yeah. Like, what would your training routine be, like, whether it's training or diet? Kind of...
It depends on what I have coming up. Like, I'll kind of plan my training for contest. It's there now, but I put everything down in the copybook, so I know exactly what I have to do. So if you'll find me a copybook there, I'll show you. So say when I was supposed to train for Ireland's Strongest Novice before I got injured, it was 12 weeks away at the time I made the plan, and in that copybook I had every workout for that 12 weeks planned out exactly. Just making sure. So when you have it planned out, you can put pen to paper and see where you're progressing. You need to have progressive overload, as it's called. So you can't just go in and do what you feel like doing and, think it's going to get you to a top level. You have to make sure you're doing more and more and more every week, or every second week even, just force your body to adapt and become stronger. So say, for an example, make it really simple. Say if I want to get stronger squats and decide to go 5 by 5. I'll do 5 sets of 5 this week at 100 kilos.
Yeah.
Then next week I do 5 sets of 5 at 105 kilos. Then the week after 110 and so on. You kind of need to be doing that. You need to be applying progression to your training to get anywhere. Instead of just going in doing, I'll do whatever amount of squats I feel like at whatever weight I feel like this week and the same next week. It's not really going to get you anywhere. You're just kind of, it'll do a bit for you. It'll keep you healthy and make it in shape a bit, but it's not really going to get you to a very good level in strength sports.
Yeah, like training off season to training when you've a comp coming up is obviously different. But I mean, what I like to do in the off season is kind of an every second week thing. So, say week 1 would be heavy, like you said, 5 sets of 5, and then week 2 would be working on speed. So it'd be 50-60% of my max, all speed reps, especially on deadlift. But
yeah, that's a good way to do it, just to kind of keep yourself fresh, because especially if a contest coming up, if you're going heavy, like really heavy every week, it takes a big toll on your body. Like
Oh, definitely. I mean, when I first started out, it was just
you can't keep it up for a long time, or you just burn out. Like
yeah. When I first started out, all I wanted to go for was max, 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 max.
I remember that
But
when you were there first, just every week, just maxing out deadlifts. Yeah,
just slowly started to realize, right now I'm fucking hitting a wall. Natural strength
yeah.
things start working. So it's all trial and error anyway. Like you're gonna learn.
Oh yeah, trailer is a huge part of the learning curve when you're new to the gym. I think it's really important if you're new to training to just kind of get your time in there and kind of figure it out yourself for a good bit, basically. But you need to just be in there on your own. Like a big mistake I see these days is people who are new going to a trainer straight away, because what you're going to do then is you're going to be made train, but you're not going to learn how to train.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. They're going to train all right, and they're going to get stuff done, but they'll never figure out how to go in on their own and do their own workout. That's why you see people who've been going to the gym 3 years and still working with a personal trainer.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
being a personal trainer myself is kind of not great for business to be advising people to go against that way, but that's what a lot of trainers will kind of prey on, as well as repeat business from just people who come in not knowing a thing, and they won't ever teach them how to do it on their own. They'll just train them, take their money, tell them to come back next week, train them, take their money. They'll never teach them how to be self-sufficient.
yeah. And like, what kind of a diet would you be on? Like, how many calories would you be taking in? What way are you breaking that down?
Well, when I don't have any contests coming up, my diet goes, we'll say I relax it a bit, to put it gently.
So in other words,
Yeah,
it goes
well,
straight out the window.
yeah, pretty much. Coming up to a contest, though, about 5 to 6,000 calories a day I'd be eating. Just I have a very high calorie requirement anyway now, just with various medical things going on that I need a bit more food anyway.
Yeah.
But coming up to a contest, I'm starting to put my diet back on track now at the moment. So I have an idea of what my contest prep diet is going to be. So, I'm going to start it at an easier version. So, say on my contest prep, my breakfast is going to be Weetabix and milk, protein milk. Obviously, it's not the nicest of breakfast, so what I'm starting out with is Cocoa Pops instead of Weetabix. And then, as we get closer to the contest, I'll swap for the Weetabix. You know, it's a better option, but it's not the nicer option. It's just easier to start from the Cocoa Pops than switch to the Weetabix than going straight onto the Weetabix, if you know what I mean. Same for the rest of the
one thing I'll say to you, Cocoa Pops after a workout, fucking game changer.
Oh, yeah. Cocoa Pops after workout is just, third and trend.
Yeah, you used to love the post-workout Cocoa Pops and pancakes.
Yeah. What I've been playing around the last few months, actually, is having no carbs after the workout.
Yeah. Who would be, I suppose, your biggest influence or your biggest inspiration when it comes to strongman or fitness in general?
It's a good question. There's so many different kind of names out there.
Obviously,
It'd be very hard to pick one.
No, it's Valentine's Day, you have to say me, but like for me, kind of starting out, it was Eddie Hall, but I mean, obviously, I still love Eddie Hall, strongman wise, but with his boxing crack, I just can't. But,
No, can't hack it.
I think one of my biggest kind of idols at the minute would be just Tom Stallman, reading Luke and Tom together. I think what they're doing for strongman is unbelievable, especially with Tom's situation. You know, Tom suffering when he was younger with autism and going on to what he's done now. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's great to see as well. Great to see that there is those opportunities available for people with certain kind of different abilities to be able to go into sports like this as well.
Yeah.
As opposed to, 30 years ago, someone who had mild autism would have been put in a home or something. And nowadays, he's second place at world's strongest man.
Yeah, exactly.
Just it's great to see that.
It's just
Great to see
there's no
the
limit on what
world
you can do.
open up to these things, and uh, those opportunities are there for him.
Yeah, it is great to see, and from what I've seen online, Tom does a lot around where they live for autism, and young kids that were in the situation he was in before, and kind of showing them that there's no limit on what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that a label won't restrict your abilities. Like,
Yeah, and that's another thing I like about strongman. Like no other sport, like I mean, you see professional soccer players or whatever, they do their charity work and whatever, but when it comes to strongman, I don't know, it kind of they kind of hit closer to home, if you get what I'm saying. They
yeah,
get
I
more
know what you mean.
involved
Exactly. Yeah,
than just giving
yeah, it's a great
wow and
community. Like, the strongman community, you can't beat it.
yeah, not at all. Like, even the camaraderie in the sport is ridiculous. Like you've seen that yourself from competition.
Yeah, even just how nice everyone is. Like, that's another thing that really got me into the sport. Just how nice people are. Because like, I remember when I was in work experience in Fenley's, I was there one day. Just kind of, I hadn't really heard of strongman. Well, I heard of it. Like, I hadn't really known much about it. But David Jones, he was trained at the time. He actually owns that gym now. But I was there kind of playing around with the log, and like he had stuff to do, like, basically, and he still took the time to come down and show me how to use it properly, and he seemed so excited just to see someone take an interest in the sport. Like,
Yeah,
that was one of the things kind of helped get me into sports, is how nice everyone I met who was involved in it was.
yeah. Like, even from say our last competition to when we were training over in Monsters Gym in Carlow as well. Like just from then on, meeting people there and at the competition.
Yeah,
Like,
top level athletes make it feel so welcome when we're just new young lads. Like,
yeah, and like even in when it comes to training, like you're throwing up training videos on Facebook, and obviously you're going to have people saying, "Oh, job well done, you're doing that well," or whatever. But I've often had more experienced strongmen text me and kind of give me tips on what to watch out for. Like, God, activate your glutes more in your deadlift. I had Andrew Robinson, who was a referee in our last comp together, Renegade.
yeah, he was a nice fella.
Yeah, and Andrew has helped me out massively, especially when it comes to Atlas stones. Like,
Stones, yeah.
at my size,
Because you're not built for stones.
Yeah, so that kind of aspect of the sport is it's brilliant. Like
yeah,
you have
everyone
people
really
work
looks
out
out
to
for each other.
improve your own sport. Like
Yeah, just the way everyone kind of looks out for each other is it's a lovely part of the sport. When I was really getting into strongman, like, I remember myself and my friend Luke, we went over to Davy Jones's gym there when I was still very new to it, say probably 2.5 years ago now. And we went in saying, "Oh, let's use the strongman equipment." Hadn't a clue how to do it, but again, David Jones is there and took time that he didn't have to take to show us how to do things, and
yeah, you
really kind of
Davey was the same when we were in Carlow.
so interesting. He was delighted to see people taking interest in the sport, and he took the time to show us how to do the farmers walk properly and all that, and the log and everything. And who else was there was Emma Evans. She's a strong woman. She was working there at the time. She as well took time to come over to us and say, you should do it like this, or ask us, "Oh, you interested in strongman?" and stuff like that. Just the friendliness of the community was one of the main things that got me into it. Like, if you're going to a gym and you're doing heavy set of bicep curls, like, what are the chances of a top level bodybuilder coming over to you, talking to you, being friendly and trying to, like, welcome you into it? Like, I know, no, not saying all bodybuilders wouldn't do that, like, but just in the strongman community, they're a lot more friendly, I find.
Yeah, like even what I was saying was when we were in Monsters Gym in Carlow, we were training events leading up to Renegade, myself, yourself, and Vinny, and Luke as well. But I mean, Davey Jones was there doing his own training and still taking his time out to kind of give us tips on how to start the yoke and in the middle of the run, you know, hand position, everything. There wasn't anything he didn't cover. And then he done the same when we were doing the car deadlift. So obviously it's completely different deadlift setup to what anyone would be used to. And then of course Magnuson walked in and we stopped training because
that was
we showed off a little bit already, but
that was a surreal moment. So I was when Magnus walked in.
yeah, no, I remember that like it was yesterday.
Lads all knew he was coming as well, I think, just didn't tell us.
Yeah, everyone knew he was coming, except us.
Yeah, we were just there like, normal day. Remember his son walked in and you were, that lad looks like the head of Magnus Fur.
Was that his son? I thought that was just some randomer.
I don't know.
I know.
Someone who was the head of him anyway.
He walked in anyway, we were saying, oh, jeez.
I think Magnus himself actually walks in like.
Yeah, I remember the son, well, whoever it was, walked in. I said, Jesus Christ, thought that was Magnus Fur, and we all started laughing. 5 seconds later, Magnus Fur walks in. We're all looking at each other, speechless.
Huh?
And then Richard walks past and just takes the piss out of us. Like, oh my God, it's Magnus Fur.
Yeah, remember that, right?
Yeah, no, that was a really good day. I think we were there about 4 hours, were we? Easily.
Oh, just we're there a good while anyway, yeah?
Yeah, but...
John, it's great how crack travelling up and down to isn't there? Lads in the car, like.
Yeah, that's it. Like, just waiting now for all this to be over so we can head back over to Carlow and head back up north, things like that for comps.
Yeah. Even training in the gym, like the crack we have inside the gym, you'd miss it fiercely.
Yeah, I can't wait till the outdoor events training starts up again.
Yeah. Do you know what I really find those, you get it in the gym we go to, you just don't get in other places, is the real kind of community of it. It's more than just a gym, Taz. It's a community.
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, we cut the back off each other at the best of times. I mean, 90%
oh yeah,
of the time,
it's just worse than a pub. The sagging that goes on inside it.
Like, leave your feelings at the front door, but regardless of that, there's a lot of help in the gym. So I mean, if I'm deadlifting, obviously I'm not going to see if my form is incorrect. Only other people are watching me. So everyone's kind of there to keep an eye on each other, technique-wise. Like, you've seen it yourself. I mean, we have Owen Shanahan there. We have my grandfather. We've Andy Fogarty, who was a powerlifting referee. So, I mean, you can't really go wrong with what we have around us.
We have a great team around us above.
Yeah,
Can't beat that. The knowledge, the amount of information you kind of gather just from being around people like that is unbeatable. You won't get it on YouTube videos or anything like.
No, definitely not. But are you ready for a real touchy subject?
My squat.
No. I won't slag your squat. No.
Right.
I wanted to get your thoughts on, we'll say, steroids in sports or performance enhancers. Like, I'm going to start off by saying I have no right to talk about it because I know nothing about it, but maybe you do. Like, it doesn't... Steroids and performance enhancers, I don't use them, so they've no effect on me. So, which is...
What are you saying I do or something?
I knew that was going to happen. No, I'm saying, like, I have no reason to know about them, so that's why I don't. But maybe you, being a personal trainer, would know about them, so I just want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I don't know loads about them, but I have a fair bit of, I have a general knowledge of them, alright.
None. Absolutely not.
My opinion on them when it comes to sports is really depends on the sport, because there's an awful lot of people on them. Say, for example, like Mr. Olympia, a top bodybuilding competition. Like, who cares if one lad's on steroids? Because they're all on steroids. I don't think there's any problem with it there. Because it's fair, it's an even playing field. But say if it's smaller competitions, like things we'd be doing, say if there's like 2 or 3 lads that are on steroids and the rest of us aren't, then it's an issue because, it's not very fair. Like.
Yeah, like...
But I don't mind, top level athletes. They're all on them, let them off, like, because, they all have the same advantage there. Then.
Yeah.
Another thing as well is a lot of people like to kind of they like to discredit an athlete's hard work just because they might be on something, which is wrong as well. Because like lads who are taking those things, like if they're not putting in the work, they're still not going to see the results.
Exactly. Like,
Like you'd see it often, lads who are taking stuff and
it's not as if
they're not
they're
strong, they're
just
not
sitting at
big.
home on the couch taking it, going in competing. Do you know what I mean? But fucking Reese. Well, I was watching that documentary Born Strong. Have you seen that? It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I seen that there, watched it there about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Rob Frampton made a good point on that about steroid use and performance enhancers. He was kind of saying, you know, you're asking the biggest, strongest guys in the world to lift the heaviest, most awkward objects in the world. So why not just let them off? Do it.
Yeah, as well, like, being it is a spectator sport and all, like, no one really want to watch the strongest natural lads as much as they want to watch the likes of Hafter Bjornsson or someone. It's just more of a spectacle, you know. It is a spectator sport at the end of the day.
Yeah, like when I seen that and seen Rob Frampton say that, I was like, yeah, you know, he's right. He's dead right. Like, he's dead right there. You know, we do want to see it, like you said, a spectator sport. But in another way, I was kind of saying, yeah, well, would he actually be the strongest man in the world without it? I'd say, but
I think if it didn't exist, if it didn't exist at all, it just wasn't in the world. Strongest lads in the world is still the strongest lads in the world. It wouldn't be a difference.
yeah, they still have to put in the hard work.
Like, you think if steroids didn't exist, Big Z wouldn't still be one of the strongest people to ever live. Like,
Exactly. I mean,
not at all.
regardless, like we were saying, you still have to put in the hard work. It's not a case of just
That's it. Yeah.
take this and go compete tomorrow.
A huge issue I do see with them is people, especially younger people around 18 or 19, going on them, not really knowing what they're getting themselves into. People who are selling steroids are just taking advantage of, you know, young lads in the gym who they're eager to kind of get a certain place, and they don't really know what they're getting themselves into at all. There's an awful lot of extra background work that has to go on when someone is on steroids, as far as their blood work and their hormone support and that someone just wouldn't really know if they hadn't really researched it well. And a lot of lads are just popping them away thinking it's going to be all fine, and next thing they're in hospital with some sort of health issue. Like,
Yeah, like I was saying, I know literally nothing about it, not even a small bit. But Matthew McKeegan had a good video up about it the other day. Well, I think it was last week on his Instagram. MK Fitness 93. If anyone wants to check it out, I'm not gonna go quoting his points as if I said them, because I didn't. I know nothing about it. But if there is anyone that wants to kind of get a better insight, go check out that video. I'd say it's your best option. It was a very good video. But what else was I going to say?
I think there, with videos like that, is it's very important to talk about steroid use and to not just kind of push it, because we need to have information out there for people who are considering getting into it. So it's really good to have information out there like that video, because it's a very hush topic at the moment. Like,
yeah,
which is very hard. If you are to want to go on steroids, like, it's a very hard topic to find any information on as far as how to look after your health and that while you're on them, which is very important, because they can do, if you're not doing everything as it should be done, you can do serious damage to yourself with them. That being said, you can take them, do everything right, and do very little harm.
Yeah,
so I think it is important to have information easily accessible to minimise the harm caused by them.
Yeah, it's one of the benefits of, we'll say, social media, because rather than, right, we'll just say, I want to know more about it, as if I was going to take it maybe or whatever. Rather than me going Googling it, like everyone knows how inaccurate Google can be, you actually have someone that's educated in the matter on their own social media platform. You know, it's not influenced by anyone else. It's just them talking about it. You're going to get a better kind of insight into what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's it, really. Especially when it's something like that, there's a lot of rumours about it as well. It's hard to know what's right and what's not right. There should be kind of there should be, in my opinion, there should be advice on taking steroids put out by medical professionals.
Yeah. Um,
That's what I think about it.
yeah, so just kind of moving on from that, we have this month, the 27th of February. You won't be taking them. Fuck you. We've World's Ultimate Strongman in Bahrain, which is always a really good event, but it's been live streamed on Core Sports. I'll have
Yeah.
watching it. Maybe we could do some kind of review on that. Maybe talk about what's going on in it. But who would be your pick for top spot in that?
Who's competing? I haven't been keeping up with things great lately, so
Right. We won't bother then. No, we'll do another video on that there in a couple of weeks. When it's on, we might. So you can come over here if you want. We'll watch it or something, or we'll do this kind of thing again. Watch it from home.
yeah, we'll see what the story is. No, I haven't been keeping up with much of the strongman scene there lately. So
Yeah. No. I mean, like we said, everything has gone quiet over this lockdown and stuff. So there's not much happening. But obviously, when there is stuff happening, it's kind of de-talk.
yeah, it's a bit of excitement.
Obviously, I think is September, October. We've the biggest boxing match in history with fucking Thor and Eddie. How do you see that?
Yeah, heaviest anyway, maybe not biggest, but heaviest.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. It's while it is a bit of a spectacle and all, there's a lot of people laugh at it.
yeah,
I still watch it. Like I'm saying, you won't turn it off if it's on. Like
no, like regardless of what's going on, like you've two absolute units going in trying to box it off each other, and like they truly want to hurt each other as well. So it makes it a bit interesting. But I watched the Mountain fighting with Stevie Ward, their exhibition.
Stevie Ward, yeah.
It wasn't a bad watch.
Yeah.
Obviously there was a huge size difference there as well. But look, one thing I'll say is it just shows how professional Hafthor Bjornsson is. Like he's training for a fight with Eddie Hall. Neither of them have relatively boxed before in their life, but it shows how professional Hafthor is that he went off and got an exhibition fight with a pro boxer, so he can kind of learn from it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, you learn a lot from, like any sport, you learn a lot from actually competing. Like.
Yeah.
So I think that was great for him to do that, because you learn an awful lot more from that exhibition than you will from sparring and stuff.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's how you learn in boxing. I mean, I've done boxing and kickboxing. Yeah, like it's the only way you learn really. Like obviously your pad rounds and stuff come into play. I mean, without them you're at nothing. But sparring is completely different. But we'll touch on that another day. I've fighters coming on in a couple of weeks as well. So we'll hear what they have to say about it. Might ask them about Thor and Eddie, even though they might be too happy about it.
Yeah, it seems like the actual boxing community do not like this at all.
No, it's the same with the YouTubers fighting as well. Like
YouTube, yeah, I suppose, to be fair. You can see why it would. You can see why it causes issues, because it's these lads are getting the spotlight over younger, up-and-coming lads who've been working hard for years at it. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's people that are doing this as in like it's the only way they're going to get anywhere in life. Some people, they grow up in, we'll say, a rough area or whatever, and like they're fighting to survive basically. And then you get these lads that are already probably well off. Like I know some of them didn't start well off.
Or the YouTube lads are very well off.
Good background or whatever. They move on to get famous, and then straight away professional boxers. It isn't fair.
Yeah, it's taking credit from lads who have been boxing for years, who are more deserving of that kind of notoriety.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not fair. Look, it makes money, it makes sense, as to say, like. Yeah,
it's the show business all the same.
That's all it really is. I don't know, will it last long, or is it just kind of a trend at the minute? But who knows? Like, hey, you never know as well. We could get a YouTuber come out of the blue someday that could be an unbelievable boxer. God knows. But
yeah, it's possible.
But yeah, so I'd say we can finish it up at that, but we'll be back with you maybe in a couple of weeks. We'll do a review on World's Ultimate Strongman.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, if you're up for it, we'll schedule that. So before we jump off, next week on the podcast we have World's Strongest Woman 2018, one of the most impressive female athletes on the planet, Rhiannon Lovelace, coming on. That's going to be an exciting one, definitely. And next couple of weeks, I have about 8 or 9 weeks booked up so far. We have a mix of strongmen, bodybuilders, trying to get some hurlers, soccer players on as well. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, we've the next 8 weeks booked up with some brilliant guests. I know Matthew McKeegan has agreed to come on in a couple of weeks, as well as Davy Jones. So 2 lads that competed and done well at Ireland's Strongest Man this year. So it'll be interesting to get them on. Like I said, Matthew had the video up, kind of highlighting steroids last week. So we might get his thoughts on it then in that podcast as well. Matthew's very...
Yeah, he'd be a great one now to talk about that now, because I know a small bit about them myself, but wouldn't know a patch of what someone like Matthew would know.
Yeah, and as well as that, Matthew was very invested in mental health, and we've seen it with COVID and stuff going on. Matthew highlighting how important fitness and exercise is towards helping mental health, we'll say. Mental and physical health, anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we'll touch back on that when we have Matthew on, and hopefully get more hurlers and footballers, like I said, to join in if there's any hurlers or footballers out there that want to come on. It doesn't matter what level you're at, work away, you can come on. So, thanks a million.
Thanks for having me on, Peter.
Have you anything else to say, Aidan?
I think that's about it, yeah.
That's grand. So I'd say probably about 5 or 6 o'clock I'll have the video up on YouTube. It's Max Power Podcast. The video should be up at 5 or 6. I'll have to go over it all again anyway and see if I can crop out your face and put someone better looking there.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week. We'll be back next Sunday again. But Rhiannon will be live with me on Instagram again next Saturday at 4. So that'll be that then. Alright. So Aidan, thanks for coming on. We'll get back to you in a couple of weeks with the World Ultimate Strongman review.
Lovely stuff. Thanks for having me on, Peter, and best of luck to you at the podcast.
Anytime. Thanks a million, Aidan.
So, thanks.